What's up, my beautiful butterflies? It's the Awakened Butterfly, and I'm back with another video. If this is your first time coming across my channel, please stay for the entire video. And if this is some content that you feel you like to see on a more consistent basis, please hit that subscribe button and also the like button. Excuse me. And for all of my day one butterflies, welcome back to my channel. I love you guys so much. I hope everyone is taking care of themselves out there. Um, Today, guys, we're gonna do a story time. Talking about being gang stalked at work, and if a lot of you guys have went through that as myself, it's kind of hard to stay on a job for a certain amount of time, depending on what the situation is, how severe things get, and in this particular situation, things got a little crazy. Especially to the point to where energy is concerned. After being around someone um, for a certain amount of time, you start to exchange energy with them. So, guys, it's really important who you spend your time with. With that being said, I'm gonna get into this story time. Go and grab your snacks and your drinks and come right back. Now wait. Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. All right, guys. So, um, it was like a year and a half ago. There was a summer job opportunity for 3 months. It was for a candy company, Mars. I'm pretty sure you guys are probably familiar with that. They make the Starbursts and the M&Ms and all that good stuff. Okay, well, where I live, um, here in Tennessee, they have a company there. And like I said, they had a summer position. So I was like, hey, why not? This could be an opportunity to make a little more extra money. And the hours were flexible. You can pick your own hours, and the pay was pretty decent. So I was like, hey, why not? So I went to the job, guys, and excuse me, everything was good when I first, the ideal of working there. The process was very long. It took a long time to actually start, at least about 2 months at least, because you have to do your phone interview first, and then you have to do your in-person interview. Then you have to do your background and your drug screen. Then you have to go in for your orientation. Then you start. So it was, like I said, a long process. So I started my process in April, and I didn't actually start until June. So when I did start the job, the first thing that happened was my first paycheck was not put on my card, and I didn't even have a paper check. And I was trying to figure out, what was going on. So I had to figure that out, and that was one thing, guys, that I had to go through, and that took a while because it was hard to get in touch with my HR manager. So once I got that taken care of, well, before then I was positioned to where I was going to work. So now I'm starting to, meet who I'm going to be working with and things of that nature. So I noticed that I was working with a few people that was a little older than me, and I didn't, that wasn't a problem. It was just that I knew that they weren't going to be able to lift a lot of the heavy things because these people were probably 60 and up, and I wasn't going to let them, pick up the heavy boxes or whatever. I was like, I don't mind. I commended them for coming in working a 3rd hour shift, that's for sure. And they were, in pretty good shape. To be working, like that at that age. So it was cool, no problems. Um, I met a woman there, and she was very interesting person. Like, she took to me very, very quickly, guys. Like, the first night I worked with her, she asked me for my phone number, and I gave it to her. And she was like, maybe we could have a girls' day, or do something sometimes. And I was like, well, okay. But I didn't really think nothing about it. I just was like, well, I'm working two jobs at this time. So, if I really probably won't have time to hang out with anybody. But if I do, then, it wouldn't be a problem. It's cool. Because where I live now, in the city that I live in, I don't really know anybody at this point. So, it was nice to meet someone. She seemed like a nice person. So, yeah. All right, guys. So as time went on, I noticed that she was getting very, very, um, was trying to get real close to me. Like, she was like, you know what? Why don't we just ride to work together? Um, Instead of I just live around the corner from you, and you could just ride with me. And I was like, well, okay. So, guys, I didn't realize that I was making a mistake by doing that, but yeah, you'll find that out later. So, we're riding to work together, and um I noticed that it went from us riding to work together, and the first night, that morning when we got off, because we worked third shift, she would like to park in front of my house and sit there and talk. Now, guys, I'm not a I'm a very nice person, and I love to talk. I love to be social, and and communicate. Uh, Probably less so now. It's because of everything that's going on. It's just so weird now, and now I've known to kind of preserve my energy, but um, I hadn't pretty much learned too much at that point to preserve my energy, because I'm thinking this lady's just being genuinely nice. And she started talking. We were sitting in the car, in the morning. And I must admit, guys, we work third shift. I'm kind of sleepy, but it's like, as soon as before we go in that morning, she would chug a lot of coffee. And then when we get off, um, she would drink coffee. I'm like, gosh, does she want to get any rest? Because we're going to have to go back in again, tonight. So, and I must admit, some of those nights I would grab me an energy drink, and which I have refrained trying to drink, from drinking those now. But at that time, working third shift, I was drinking those energy drinks, guys, and I would drink one going in, but I wouldn't drink one getting off that morning, because I want to get me some rest so I can, have energy to go back in that night. So she would, get coffee and would sit in front of my home and just, talk. And it was at the point sometimes I was, would doze off or whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so tired. And like, guys, we would sit out there for about at least an hour and a half. And I would, to the point where I would have to say, well, I'm tired. I think I'm gonna go in now and get some rest. And she was like, okay. It's like she didn't really want me to get out the car. It's like sometimes she'll keep talking, keep talking. And once, so then it's like, as time went on, that kept happening. It just kept happening. Okay, for about 2 weeks. Okay, no, I would say about a week. So after about a week, we were at work one day, and she said, hey, would you like to come to my house after work? Now, guys, like I told you before, we go in, you know, and we get off. We go in at night. We get off in the morning, and I'm tired. I really want to get some rest. And I was also working a second job. Well, I'll get to that part in a second, but yeah. So I'm like, sure, I'll go, because I didn't think it was going to be a consistent thing. I was like, okay, maybe she just wants me to come over, because she was saying she wanted me to meet her children and things of that nature. So I was like, well, okay. So I went to her house, and she made coffee and everything, and I met her children. They were really sweet. They were 12-year-old daughter, 14-year-old son. They were very sweet children. Um, she had a pet pig in the backyard. I met her pig and she had a puppy. I met it just her husband was at work. She showed me pictures of her husband and everything. So she was just trying to get me acquainted, with her or whatever. But um, it started to get, a little weird because she was like, after she we had muffins and coffee in the kitchen, me, her, and her children. And afterwards, she was like, my um, my daughter has been waiting for you to come over. Now, guys, I've never. This is my first time meeting her children. I mean, her daughter is 12 years old. So I was like, you know, wow, that's interesting that, I didn't know that she had discussed me already, and her daughter was looking forward to for me coming over. And her daughter was like, I've been expecting you to come over. Will you come and play with me? Will you come and play with me? So her daughter grabbed me by the arm. She's 12 years old. We went in her room, and she had this big doll house with a lot of dolls. And I just got off from work. I'm tired, but I'm like, okay, I will do it. Anything to put a smile on a child's face, I'll do it. So I picked the doll that I was gonna play character with, and we were playing dolls or whatever. And she had some pretty cool toys, by the way. It reminded me of my childhood. I used to love playing with dolls, but as I looked up, I noticed that her mother was standing in the hallway of their home, staring at us. And I was like, that's when, because guys, I will be honest, I was already starting to feel a couple of weird vibes from the sitting in the car every morning to I'm like, you're not tired, you know. Um, it was just that one thing was a red flag, and then you know the drinking the coffee in the morning right when we get off work. Now I understand a person that works first shift drinking coffee, getting up for that morning. But third shift, like, don't you want to get some rest, because you've been working all night? So I just wasn't into drinking anything that was going to have me up. I was trying to relax. And um, so I was playing with her daughter, and then she called me in her bedroom. Now, guys, we are me and this woman, she was a little bigger than I was, and I had more weight on me than I do now. Um, but she was bigger than I was, so I couldn't fit her clothes. And she called me in her room and said, "I have some clothes for you," and I was just like, okay, because it was just, and I'm not saying it like I'm oh, look at me, I'm all. It's not that. It's not that, guys. It's just that we were nowhere near the the size was nowhere near where she could have looked at me and figured I could fit her clothes. And I'm not saying it in a mean way. I'm just saying like, and I'm not saying she was a really big woman. I'm just saying like, you guys get what I'm saying. And she was like, "Could you try this on and let me see how you look in this?" And I was like, "This is crazy." Because of but I was like, okay. And she was like, um so I tried the shirt on, and she was like, you should wear that, that's really nice. But the whole time it's falling off of me, guys, like it's big. And I was just like, should she not see that this is really big? And I was looking in the mirror, and I was seeing that it really didn't fit me, but I didn't want to hurt her feelings, so I took the clothes. In the meantime, while I'm trying to fold the clothes up, her daughter's pulling my arm saying, come back and play with me. I want you to play dolls with me. And she was like, my daughter's waiting for you. She loves playing with you. And I'm like, I just met them today. It's just the way she was saying it, like her daughter had already knew who I was. I can't explain, but I think you guys understand. So, after I went and played a little longer, her son was in the living room, in their living room playing with his game on the TV. And he said, could you come in here and watch me play my game? So um, his little sister and I went into the living room, and his mother was in there. We were all in there, uh, together watching him play the game. And he was explaining to me about the game and how everything worked. He was excited because he was winning the game and all that good stuff. So all of a sudden, she said, "Could you take a picture with my daughter?" And it was, guys, I don't know. I just started feeling like something wasn't right. And, I've always been one of those people where people have always tried to make me feel like I was weird for the way that I felt about something. But, guys, I just did not feel right. Something was weird. So, um, I took the picture. Okay. And at that point, she said, will you go out here with me to feed the pig? Now, while I'm getting up going from the living room to the kitchen to the back door to the backyard, I see a plaque with a Freemason symbol at the top and her husband's name on it. And guys, I just automatically got chills because I I just I just felt like something wasn't right. So I prayed. I just kept my composure through because it just seemed like they were trying to keep me there, keep me there, keep me there. And it's, guys, it's getting near noon, and we got off from work at 7:30 that morning, and we have to be back at work that night. And I just finally had to say, after she fed her pig, and he was a cute little pig or whatnot. And after I was like, I have to go home. I'm really tired. And it seemed like every time I was telling her that I want to go home, when I tell her I want to go home, I was tired. It seemed like she was upset. Like she kind of didn't like me saying that I wanted to go home, but she eventually took me home. Guys, when I got home, I just sat back and thought. I was like, that was weird. Like I just started, my mind started replaying her behavior all over. And so later on that night at work, now I'm starting to wake up to what's going on here. I'm like, this is really, it's starting to feel like she's trying to drain my energy. I don't know, it's starting to get weird. But those mornings, a lot of those mornings we were sitting in the car, she was telling me that she had gallbladder issues, and a lot of times she didn't feel well, and she would throw up, and she would have all these type of symptoms or whatever, and we would talk about it. So when we went to work that following night, she was like, "So are you coming over in the morning? The kids are expecting you. They would really love to see you." And I was like, I don't know about in the morning. Um, I probably might try to get a little rest because I'm a little tired. I just went on ahead and told her the truth because I didn't want to lie to her. If I said I'm your friend, I want to tell you the truth, and I told her I was tired. So she was like, oh, it seemed like she got disappointed and a little angry. I saw the anger, and that morning before, she had told me that everyone referred to her as a witch, and she said, "Do you want to hear my witch laugh?" And she most definitely had one. So I was like, okay. So I was like, huh. And I kind of started noticing she was starting to get angry about some things. I started to notice that she had a angry streak of when she couldn't get what she wanted. Like when I wouldn't come over um, and play with her daughter. I didn't understand. I'm like, I'm a grown woman. It's the summertime. Does she have friends that she can, go to their house and play with? Like, why do you want a grown woman to come and play dolls with your daughter? It was just kind of weird to me. But I realized it was another meaning behind that, especially once I saw that Freemasonry plaque in her den. Um, so it seemed like once she had asked me once work started when we first got there, would I be able to come over? And I told her probably not because I was a little tired. So keep in mind, guys, that I was riding to work with her. So that morning, at 3 that morning, um, we have phones on the warehouse floor where we work. So if the supervisor needs to talk to us, they would call, and our floor lead would let us know if he had anything important to say to us or whatever. So one morning at work, I was called to the phone, and it was my manager, and they were like, so and so told me to tell you that they're going home early, and you might have to find another way home. Now, guys, this is what's really weird. This person works right next to me, okay? They told me they were going to the restroom and they would be back. They never came back. They went to the office, I guess, and told the manager they were leaving and to let me know they were leaving. We worked right next to each other, like elbow to elbow, where we talk. And I was like, that's okay, that's crazy. Why didn't she tell me? So that was another thing I thought about. I was like, okay. So I called a Lyft home that morning, and I sat back and thought about some things when I got home. I was like, you know what? This is getting weird. Now keep in mind, I'm starting to not feel well. All these things that she said is wrong with her, I was starting to feel it. To the point where every morning I got home, I started um, vomiting. My stomach was feeling sick. My side was hurting. I was feeling terrible. I didn't know what was wrong. I was feeling terrible, guys. And okay, so that following night, because I called a Lyft home. So that following night, she called me, and she was like, well, that afternoon, she called me, which woke me up out of my sleep because I was still asleep, guys. She said, hey, I'm going to work. Are you going to ride with me? Now, I said, no, I'm just going to go ahead and I'll meet you there. And she was like, no, no, no. Everything's okay. I'm better now. I just was feeling really bad at work last night, and I needed to go home and use my bathroom really bad because I had some personal things going on. And I was like, oh, I understand. But what I didn't understand was, why didn't she tell me we were right next to each other? It was just, that whole situation got me. But I didn't never say anything about it. So, let's see. I would say, okay, so I took the ride again because she kept insisting, like, everything is okay. I'm feeling fine. We just live right around the corner from each other. Just take the ride. It's all good now. So, I took the ride again. Um, she proceeded to ask me to come over, and um, at this time I had a second interview for another part-time job. So I was kind of relieved to have a reason, like a real legitimate. Well, I had a real legitimate reason from being tired. It was obvious, but now I have another reason. So because it got to the point to where when I told her that I couldn't go that morning, she was like, I'm tired of thinking I have real friends in my life, and they don't prove to be real friends, and they never want to make time as real friends. They're only around when it's convenient. And I'm like, what is she talking about? And it just made me start thinking, like, well, I did tell her I was her friend. Am I not being a real friend by not spending any time with her? And I had to start thinking, like, wait a minute. I'm working 2 jobs here. How do I have time? Like, why should I feel bad about that? I shouldn't feel bad about that, right? So, um, next thing, okay, so it was her son's birthday. And okay, fast no, rewind. Okay, so that morning we're at work. I told her I wasn't gonna be able to come over that night. Guys, she didn't talk to me the entire night. We usually eat lunch together. She didn't talk to me. She didn't say anything to me. She was upset with me. So that morning when we rode home, she was telling me that it was her son's birthday, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna get him a gift," and she was like, "Oh, you don't have to do that, a real friend's gonna get something for him anyway. Like I know if you're a real friend, you're gonna do it anyway, so I'm not worried about it." I'm like, "Of course I will. I want to get him something. That's why, I said something. I said, what does he like?" And she was telling me that he likes the camouflage looking stuff, like the hats and like the camouflage gear, like the real tree like looking gear, things like that. So I bought him a gift. I got him a hat and a card, and I put it in the bag, a nice gift bag, whatever. And I had just was about to start the new job that afternoon. So I brought the gift to work and I gave it to her. And she was like, "Oh, you didn't have to do that," but she was still looking upset. She was like, "You know what?" And I was like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "It would be really nice if you could have came and gave this to him in person." And I was like, "Well, I have to go to work, so I have to get me some rest because we didn't have to go to the other job that following night, this job, but I had to start the new job that afternoon, so I needed some rest." And it seems like when I told her that I wouldn't be able to come and I started the new job, she was like, "You started a new job, so you're not going to work at this job anymore?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna try to work both. Since they were both part time, I figured I would be able to do both." And she was like, "Oh, you're not gonna ever have any time to hang out." And I was like, "Well, I'm trying to get accomplish some things, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to make time to hang out." So I noticed that I'm starting to still feel sick, and my head, my light bulb came on. I'm like, this lady is draining my energy. Like, she's literally draining all of my energy, to the point where she even had her daughter texting my phone asking me, can I come over and play dolls with her. Like, it started to get creepy. And I had met another friend at work, and like, we didn't never hang out outside of work, but when we were at work, we would make time go by laughing, joking around. She worked with us as well, and she didn't want to make friends with the other, people we were working with. Like, she would just stand there and look mad and get mad at me when I communicated with other people. And she was also leaving in the middle of the night, leaving me stranded there without a ride more than one time. And that's when I realized that, and I noticed every morning also, she would ask me personal questions about my life, my mom, my dad, like, um, just like she was trying to, ask me a lot of personal questions about my life. And when I start seeing the anger, I realized that, you know, this is some gang stalking energy going on. And when you're working with someone and you become friends and they're trying to hang out with you constantly, even after work, like constantly, that's not normal, guys. Especially when you're first meeting someone and you haven't even known them a month, and they're trying to invite you to their home, and then now they want you to come over every single day, and they're calling you, and they know that you're going to see them at work that night, and they know that you have to rest. It's like they don't care. Guys, cut that off. Don't. don't let anyone drain your energy like that, especially to the point to where they're mad at you when you don't have time, when they see what you're trying to do. That is not a real friend. That is a gang stalker. That is a energy vampire, and that is not someone that deserves your time, because they want all of it. And when someone wants all of your time, that's never healthy. Everything deserves a balance in between. So, guys, I did have to cut that relationship short. But it and the reason why I did, because it got to the point to where this person um started trying to take me to their home. Like, one morning they were taking me home. They were like, "Well, I just have to stop at the house real quick." And my house was a stop before their house. And I was like, "No, I need to get home." They were like, "Well, it's not going to take that long. It's just going to take a few minutes." Things like that. When people start doing that and not respecting your space and respecting your word, it's time to either cut ties or give it a break. I would just cut the ties, because these people actually don't have your best interest at heart. They're actually, believe it or not, are being sent by someone. And it's crazy that, I've always got excited about going to certain jobs, and to get there just to find out that someone knew I was going to be there before I even get there. Get it? You get it. So, yeah, I cut ties with that person, and the assignment was up. It was 3 months up, and I was out of there. At that time, the assignment was already ending. I was happy, and I was gone. And yeah, so that was my story time, guys. I hope you guys got the important message behind that. And don't forget to take care of yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. I love you guys so much. And until the next video, peace.